Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today this is the first episode of Sage Unfiltered, where you'll be hearing 10 to 15 minutes of my thoughts. And on today's topic, it is trying to find a job after graduation and feeling lost. Okay, so let's get into it. When I was a senior in college, I was so stressed out, y'all. I was so stressed out, and that I was experiencing being stuck or frozen, where you're so overwhelmed that you cannot do anything. My work was starting to pile up, and I just wanted to be home. I was also I was on the research track with my psychology degree. I don't know if I mentioned this, but yes, I did graduate college last year with a BS in psychology, and I was on the research track. So to anybody who is a liberal arts major, whatever major you have underneath that department, that we do a lot of writing. And then I was doing research. Y'all was turning in 10 pages of paper, looking up different scientific articles. That was my life every day. And also I was going into the lab because I was doing a research study, and I was trying to find participants, but nobody wanted to participate. It was a lot. It was a lot going on academically and in my own personal life, my love life and stuff like that. But that's not what this is about, And because of what was I experiencing, during senior year, I was I'm not going to apply to school right after. I'm going to take a gap year. And people still kept asking me what I was going to do once I said I'm going to take a gap year. Y'all, I just wanted to work. My goals for my gap year was to work, travel, and save up money. And then the following year, which is 2025, would be to go back to school fall 2025. That was the goal. Get a job, travel, and then go back to school. Get my master's. And I thought it would be easy. Maybe I would have 3 months unemployed and then I'll get a job. So up to those last couple of weeks or that last month, I was just so stressed out. I was so stressed out with schoolwork. It was really, really bad. And I even tried to I remember my parents telling me I needed to invite my relatives to my graduation. And I kept telling them I cannot do this. Could y'all do it for me? And they'll be no, you're an adult, da 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 da. And I'm I can't do this. I'm so stressed out with school. And that was another thing. I was really stressed out, y'all. My own professor called me because I just went MIA. I stopped showing up to classes because I was just so stressed out. I don't know if it was the workload, but something in that semester, the fall and spring semester, I was just stressed out and I just couldn't do it. I just felt so overwhelmed. Even my own professor called me to check up on me because I just went ghost. Mind you, my professor, compared to my parents, who I was literally saying, I cannot do this. I need help. Can y'all do this for me? They just didn't believe me. Anyways, so I thought post-grad, I will feel a bit more calmer, lighter, stable, and at least know where I'm going, right? And also, I wanted to find a job in research, become a research assistant, because I was interested in research. That was my track. But post-grad life, also before I did graduate, I was scared of getting post-grad depression. I remember saying that to my professor, I just hope I don't get post-grad depression, because I've had depression and it's kind of hard to get yourself out of it. You can get yourself out of it, but it's a bit hard. So I'm thinking this break's gonna help me. It's gonna help me regulate, calm down. But once I graduated from college, it was more stuff. I was stressed out because I would open up my computer and apply to jobs, right? The first 2 months, even like that first week, once I graduated, walked across the stage, like I still had like nerves, like, oh my God, do I have to submit something in? Do I need to turn something in? Blah, blah, blah. But I also was able to like play The Sims and watch Netflix and YouTube and like be on my phone and like do whatever I want because I had so much free time now. But also I was waking up every single day to apply. I was signing into Indeed and LinkedIn like it was a part-time job to look for jobs and apply, right? And also during that time period of my life, a lot of like family stuff was going on with me, and that was like a whole other thing as well. So I'm unemployed and then I'm dealing with family issues, right? Months are passing me by. Like, okay, months are passing me by. Also, the only graduation money, I think I only got graduation money from like a handful of people. So I'm a broke college student. I get graduation money. My dad gave me like $1,000. Shout out to him for that. Because I end up going into my digital camera era with that money and stuff like that. And I also bought a car. Well, I didn't buy it. My parents put their money together and they got me a car. But I also got a car, but like I was still stressed out with other issues in my life and also like being unemployed. Like I went from one stressor to another, and I started getting sad, and like I just didn't understand. Like I'm applying to all these jobs and I'm not hearing back. Like, y'all, I would not hear back. Like, I couldn't even get a simple email. An email of like, oh, you weren't, nice resume, but we couldn't go with you. And it's like, damn, like, I'm just getting ghosted. I only got one interview. And they wanted like a intern, and I will only get paid $25 a session. And they told me like if I didn't see a certain amount of clients, I wouldn't get paid at all. And then they wanted me to do a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm like, this is not a job. This is slavery. Okay. I would say the pressure to find a job currently in my life, because it's now April 2025. The pressure back then was really intense. And I was very hard on myself to find a job. And externally, I don't know. There was a lot going on in my life, so I can't really tell you externally if other people were pressuring me to find a job, but I was pressuring myself to find a job because I felt like a bum, like a loser for like being home all day and not doing anything. Like I just felt like I'm just wasting my youth sitting down on the couch playing Sims all day and doing absolutely nothing. Like I wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower, play Sims, and go to sleep, right? That was my life. But now, which is so funny because months ago, I don't feel like a lot of people were pressuring me to find a job. But now I have adults who are telling me like, oh, I thought you just weren't trying. Because actually, externally, people would tell me like, oh, you don't have to apply to a job in your field. You could work at McDonald's, or you could work at Burger King, etc., etc. You could work at Burlington. And I'm like, I did apply to those jobs. Those people do not want me. And honestly, I don't even like working retail. Like, I used to work at Ross, and I freaking hated that job. I was not going back to retail. And it made me wonder, like, because I was applying and never hearing back, it made me wonder, like, damn, did I not do enough in college? Like, okay, I didn't do internships, and maybe I didn't like network enough that like my resume will look good, because I only worked 2 jobs my entire life. And I do have some volunteer experiences, but they weren't I have one from my time in college, but other than that, they weren't from my time in college, they were before. And I was just like, damn, I just used to beat myself up for like, dang, I should have done more. I should have, I I should have done more research on how to make myself look more presentable and experienced to these places that I'm applying to. Like, my resume is butt. I just felt like my resume was butt, and it was just really hard for me emotionally, because I felt like I wasted my time. I didn't take full advantage while I was in school. I would say I was not someone who identified myself as a student. Like, I felt like I've had other people around me whose whole identity was to be in school and having academic validation. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. That does feel good when you get rewarded for your hard work in school. But it's just the stuff that I used to hear them do. I'm like, I'm not killing myself for this degree. Like, I will sacrifice, but I'm not killing myself for this degree. Like, I time manage myself. I remember my roommate, my sophomore year, I had asked her a question. I was like, do you think I don't do my work? And she was like, yeah. And I just laughed at her because I just chuckled a bit, and I wasn't offended. It's just because, like, and I told her, like, oh, I just do my work at school. Like, I literally dedicated time to do work. I would go to the library and do my work. And whatever I didn't do, I could do as much as I can. And I try to turn in my best work, you know? So when I graduated, I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not a student anymore. Because I never made being a student my identity. Because I'm so much more outside of the academic system. But I would say the hardest part is just like feeling stagnant because I don't have a job. Like, I feel so stagnant because I feel like money is a resource, and money can do things. It can open opportunities, and it can give you the things that you want. Because like I mentioned earlier, y'all, I wanted to travel. Like, that was really something I really wanted to do. I wanted to travel, and I felt like if I don't have the money to travel or like experience the things I want to experience, like, I have a list of things that I want to do. If I can afford it, then what am I doing? Like, I'm just wasting my youth, and I really beat myself up for that. I beat myself up for that for a long, long time. I will say though, even though I'm still looking for jobs, and right now I'm not as hard as myself, I had to take breaks because I was applying to jobs, 6 jobs a day. I took like a 2-month break. And I had to release the shackles of applying to jobs and like if hearing back on my worth, because it wasn't doing me any good, to the point now I only applied to like 5 jobs for a day, and that's it for the week. Because I cannot beat myself up. Like, my therapist always say this, like, I cannot force nobody to hire me, you know? As long as I'm putting myself out there, that's all I could do, right? I gained like 3 certifications during my gap year to, you know, make my resume look good. I've added my research certifications on my resume. I use some of my colleges like resources to make my resume look good and stuff like that. So, but also I will say what I've been learning by myself in this season is, one, I don't like stillness. Every time I'm in stillness, I feel very I feel bored, or I feel like my life is stagnant. But I feel like internally I've grown so much. Because like I mentioned earlier, y'all, like, I also was going through some things with family, and because I experienced that, I felt like it was such an eye-opener. It was a big eye-opener for me in so many ways. And just on like the relationships that I have in my life, I have to take a step back on the relationships that I have in my life and the way I showed up in them. And it made me think about my romantic relationships, my platonic relationships, and like certain dynamics just couldn't work for me anymore. I couldn't perform or show up in certain connections or dynamics no more. and as well learning about who I am as a person. And because I have all this free time, I've been so much into my creativity. This is how this YouTube channel started, because I was like, you know what? I've always talked about wanting a YouTube channel. I'm going to start that. I got into meditating. I got into journaling. I got into affirmations because I just needed to have a better state of mind and to give myself clarity, you know? But yeah, like I just needed to clear my head, because y'all, when I say I live in my head rent free, I live in my head rent free. Like I'm someone that spirals, and like not having a job and always home, like you get not having a job and being home all the time and living the same day over and over. Not only is it emotionally exhausting, but like you just sit and think a lot and you could spiral. And I was like, no, like my inner voice was so negative at the time. I need to like shift that. So that's why I got into like all this mindfulness and like started pouring into like my creativity, rather it's my YouTube channel or my digital cameras. I'm currently like getting into writing and stuff like that. And I'm just finding out who I am as a person and what my morals and values. I also got into therapy as soon as I graduated. I think like a month after, I jumped right back into therapy because your girl was going through it. I would say to anyone that's currently going through this season of life, even though your external reality may not be what you envision or what you thought, like I said earlier, I thought I would be traveling, stacking my money, had a job, and knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my degree. Like, even though like my external reality don't look like that, internally I've done so much growth, and internally you've done so much growth. My friends literally told me like, think about where you were last year around this time. And like that really shifted my perspective. And I was like, dang, you're so right. Because I was in a different headspace and everything. And not only that, y'all, life is temporary. People say, like not everything lasts, or not everything is promised. Stuff is not guaranteed in life. And that is true. But don't see it in a negative way. See it in a positive way. Like some things in life is temporary. Like this season of my life is temporary. Has it been long? Yes, it's been so long. I've been stressed out trying to find a job and worrying about when am I going to get a job. And, and even with the climate that we're living in, if you're from America, but all of this is temporary. Like one day I am going to have a job. I am going to be making money. And all the dreams and aspirations and goals that I've set for myself, I'm going to live them. That this moment and period of time in my life is going to feel so small. And sometimes I have to just remind myself of the bigger picture, because I don't give myself enough credit for a lot of things that I started doing because I was able to sit down. Like I journal. I've been journaling since December 2024. It's April now, and I've been consistent with that. I'm writing out my feelings. I've been in therapy since last summer, and I've been consistent with that. I've been meditating for 3 months, going on 4 months. I've been consistent with that. Like, I'm changing my habits, even though those weren't things that I had like envisioned or thought I would be doing around this time. I'm still changing. It's still, taking little steps every day. And it's going to change my life. Like, I wasn't doing this stuff last year. I wasn't doing this at all. But I'm doing it now. And I already feel like it's working, or it's shifting my perspective. And, but I'm not going to say I don't have days where I'm like in my head spiraling and like, I want a job. I want to live my life. I just want to live my life. I'm tired of surviving. I just want to live. I want to thrive. I want to experience. I definitely have those days. But, I'm taking this moment of stillness and not trying to see it as me being stagnant. It's just me rebuilding myself, and probably the foundation that my life was that my life was in last year compared to now, like, it's two different foundations and structures, because I've done so much like inner work on myself, and I've done a lot of inner work, y'all. Like, I just have different perspectives now on so many things, and being self-aware on who I am as a person and my triggers and what makes me happy, what makes me feel seen, what is fulfilling to me. So I don't, even though I have those days where I'm like, damn, I'm broke, I'm poor, but the person or the young woman that I'm growing into, maybe I needed this. I felt like I needed this season, and everything that's happened so far in this season has taught me so much about myself. And I felt like if I didn't have the chance to sit down with myself, I don't know if it would have clicked, because when I think about me in college, I would do anything to like not sit in my room and think. Like, I was going to find a way to not like be outside, but just to occupy myself and my mind. And I feel like this season of my life, even though it's not what I envisioned, just having the moment to sit down, breathe, and restart and build from scratch on who I am and what I want to do and what makes me happy, like, I'm grateful for it. So I just wanted to close out this podcast episode. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you again in the next episode. And also, I'm definitely open to hearing about anyone else's experience during this post-grad life. Okay? Bye, y'all.